Hey YouTube, I'm going to be answering my Q&A questions. I didn't get very many, so hopefully it won't be like overly long. I have the house to myself right now, so I decided it's a great time to do it. Thomas is at work and the grandparents are off shopping with Jaden, so I'm the only one here. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity to do this. Please excuse if you hear thunder outside because it is thundering and lightning out there. And I'm just praying that the electric doesn't go off, because if it goes off and I'm here by myself, probably be pretty bored with no one here to entertain me. I guess I could read a book or something, but let's just hope that it doesn't go off. Alright, first question. I have not even looked at these, so I'm taking them straight from my Q&A video right from my laptop, so if I'm looking over there a lot, it's because I'm looking at my computer. First question, what are your thoughts on adoption? I think adoption is absolutely wonderful. It's great. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but me and my younger sister, Justina, who is 14 months younger than me, were not raised by my biological parents. We were raised by my aunt and uncle. We started living with them when I was like a year old and Justina was just a baby. We were never legally adopted, but they had guardianship over us, and we lived as though we were adopted pretty much. I mean, we didn't have any contact with my biological parents, no visitation, no anything like that. We lived with my aunt and uncle. We called them mom and dad. They already had 2 kids when we moved in with them, Adam and Delilah. So we, call them brother and sister and things like that. So we lived pretty much just like we were adopted, just we never were legally adopted. So basically, me and my sister were adopted, so I think it's wonderful. My biological parents were not in the right state of mind, didn't have the right living conditions, the right lifestyle to be bringing children into. So we were very lucky and blessed that my aunt and uncle took us in when they did, because they gave us a lot. I know it's kind of hard to say this, but they gave us a lot better life than what our biological parents could have provided for us. We were a lot better off living with my aunt and uncle. They provided us with everything that we needed, and because of it, I went to a good school. I'm in college now, things like that. Those type of things never ever would have happened if we were raised by my biological parents. So we're very blessed. Even though later on me and my parents really didn't have the best relationship, I still think, even though I don't think I had like the best teenage years and things like that, I still think that I had a lot better life than I would have living with my biological parents. So I think adoption is so wonderful. And also, if for some reason that me and Thomas couldn't have biological children, then adoption would definitely be an option for us, because I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful to take in these kids that need to be loved and need a home. I mean, every child deserves that, and it's sad that not all children get that, and a lot of children get shuffled through foster care. I've seen it. Thomas's best friend, she's a foster mom, and kids get shuffled in left and right and get passed around, and I just think it breaks my heart. Like, I just think that every child deserves a permanent home, So I think adoption is just wonderful. And, I also think it takes a lot of courage to give up your child if you know that you personally cannot give that child what it needs, what they deserve. And like in the case for my mom, like it was my real mom, it was the best decision she ever made to, realize that she could not give her kids what they needed and, give them to somebody that could. So I think that's awesome. Okay. Does it upset you that your parents are not in your or Jaden's life much? How does it affect or not affect your parenting? Yeah, it does affect me. Even though that we do not have... Let me give you a little bit of background information. To make a long story short, I moved out of my house when I was 17 for a bunch of different reasons I don't want to go into detail in, but me and my parents were having a lot of problems. I didn't feel like I was being treated fairly. I didn't have the best teenage years. So, I mean, it was just best for me to move out. My mom wanted me out. She really could care less what happened to me, so I kind of moved out when I was 17, and then I ended up moving in with Thomas and things like that, and then I found out I was pregnant, and pretty much since then, me and my parents really have not had a good relationship. Like, ever since I moved out when I was 17, I'll be turning 21 in June, or in 5 days. We just have not had, we have very, very little contact, and when we do, it's usually for, like, other family get-togethers and things like that, but, like, you know, I still try to have them be involved in Jaden's life, but, I mean, they're just really not that interested in us, and it's sad because I want Jaden to have 2 sets of grandparents. I want him to, I don't know, I want him to have 2 grandparents that are involved in his life and things like that, but it's just, I don't think it's ever going to happen. But thank goodness Thomas's parents have over and beyond filled that void. Like, Jaden is their world. Like, Jaden is the only grandchild for Thomas's parents. So he gets spoiled rotten, and he gets tons of love and things like that. So I'm very, very lucky for that. Like, I mean, at least he has Thomas's parents. So yeah, that's kind of how that goes. I want my parents to be more involved in this life. They have other grandchildren, and they do a lot for their other grandchildren, but they've never even bought Jaden a birthday present, a Christmas present, never called him to say happy birthday or anything like that. So, I mean, I don't ever really see them being that close, but, I mean, it is what it is. I would like for it to be different, but it's not. And along the lines of how does that affect my parenting, it pretty much doesn't affect my parenting, really. I don't really have anything to do with them. They don't really have anything to do with me. But, I mean, I guess I've learned from their mistakes, kind of in a sense. Like, I see what my mom did wrong, and like, what drove us apart. Like, I don't ever want that to happen to me and Jaden. I want us to always be close, and I want him to be comfortable with me, and I never really felt that close to my mom ever. So I don't want to repeat that. Like, I don't want that to carry over into my parenting. So that's pretty much the only way that it affects my parenting, is I see things that I want to do differently with him to make our relationship a good relationship. Okay, that's a question for Thomas, so that's a question for Jaden. Next question, I'll ask them later. Does Jaden go to daycare, preschool when you're at work or at school? No, he does not. He is either always with me, Thomas's mom, or Thomas's dad. Those are the only people that really ever watch him. Thomas's dad is retired, so he doesn't work. So most of the time, if me or Thomas are at work, or if I'm at school, Thomas's dad has Jaden. And Thomas's mom is a school teacher, so she has summers off, so she watches him a lot in the summer and things like that. So those are the only people that ever watch him. He's never, ever been left with a stranger, ever. I think the 2 other people that he's ever been left with alone without me or Thomas with him has been my sister and my best friend. I think that's, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's the only other people that he's ever been left with. Okay, if not, does he play with other kids his age? He does not get to play with other kids his age as much as I would like, because, you know, he's here a lot. So he's like the only child in the house, so he doesn't really get a lot of interaction with other kids. My older sister Delilah, my aunt and uncle, which I call mom and dad, confusing I know, had 2 other kids before me and Justina moved in with them. So they had Adam and Delilah, which they're a little bit older than me. So I call them brother and sister. So my sister Delilah, she has a daughter that is 3.5 weeks older than Jaden, and they get to play together a lot. Well, not a lot, but every once in a while they get to play together. So that's nice when they get to do that. And then every once in a while we'll take Jaden to a play group with kids his age. But for the most part, he really doesn't get to play a lot with kids. And because of that, like, he doesn't always play the best with other kids because he's just not used to it. He's used to being with adults all day, every day. Which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. What are your living arrangements? Thomas and I live with Thomas's parents while I'm in college and am not working full-time. We are living here. We did live by ourselves when Jaden was a baby, and when I was pregnant and Jaden was a baby, we lived in Columbus. I was going to Ohio State, and we had our own apartment, and we lived there for a year. But once I transferred from Ohio State to the private college I'm going to now, we just decided to move in with Thomas's parents because it's easier. We have somebody to watch Jaden when we need to, and it just saves us a little bit of money so we don't have to pay rent and things like that while I'm in school and not working full time. What type of work is your summer job? I just work at a seasonal job. It's just a seasonal job. It's at a lake, and it has like camping and things like that. So I work like, it's called the commissary. It sells camping supplies, and then we make food. We serve food, sell ice cream, candy. It's kind of like a gift shop / tiny convenience store / restaurant that I work in, and I work with all college girls, and it's a lot of fun because it's a lot of fun. So I'm working with people my age, and it's just fun. So that's what I do in the summer. This other one, next question just says another kid, question mark, question mark, question mark. So I'm guessing they're asking if you want to have another kid. Yes, we do. As of right now, I say that we want 4 altogether, so 3 more. But of course, all that could change, you know? Like if we get out into, once I start my teaching career and Tom starts whatever career he wants to do, he doesn't even know what he wants to do yet. You know, if we decide that, you know, we can't afford to have 4, then we won't. If we realize that we can afford more than 4, then maybe we'll have 5, you know? Like, it's something like, you can't put a number to it right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I would say my ideal number right now would be 4, but who knows what the future holds for us. Next question, has Jaden always been small? I wonder because Jackson is extremely small for his age, and he has been since birth. Okay. He was not super small. I mean, I guess he was 7 pounds 2 ounces at birth and was 21.5 inches long. So he was long and thin. But then once he started growing, he was just always a slow grower, I guess you could say. So he was pretty much always small, like always low on the growth curve every time we'd go in for an appointment. So yeah, he's pretty much always been small, except for at birth. You know, he was average at birth, but then he just has always grown small, I guess. I don't know. It's just mainly it's the height issue because I'm 5'6", Thomas is like 6'3". My dad is like over 6 foot. Thomas's dad is even taller than Thomas. So we're just kind of shocked at how short he is because everybody in our families are tall. I mean, 5'6" isn't super tall, but I mean, it's a pretty good height for a girl. So yeah, he goes back to the endocrinologist on July 29th to check his growth. What is Jaden's favorite game? Oh gosh. He likes puzzles. Does that count as a game? He really likes puzzles, and he likes to color. I don't think he really plays any games yet. Really. He likes to draw on a dry erase board, things like that.